Good morning, I'm Mona Barnes. First I want to say I'm so happy to be here and to be part of these great women that are being honored. I'm a 1981 graduate of St. Croix Central High School. I went on to Fisk University where I obtained a degree, a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, and I got my master's degree from Webster University in 2008, 12. You know, I'm so young now, I'm starting to forget, in management and leadership. In my life, I've done numerous things. I am presently the full-time pastor at City of Refuge, as well as the CEO of New Life Senior Resort, which is a home for the elderly that is in conjunction, a project that's in conjunction with the church. I'm also the owner of FSH Enterprise, which is a environmental company that I started from scratch. Been doing this business now some 17 years. Presently, I'm retired. I retired this past February after 27.5 years of service in the Virgin Islands National Guard. And prior to my retirement, I was the first female State Command Sergeant Major in the Virgin Islands and one of only 3 in 2010. Presently, I'm the Director of the Virgin Islands Territorial Emergency Management Agency here in the Virgin Islands, and it's a job that I love because it is one that affords me the opportunity to help and prepare my community in the times of a significant event. The advice I would have given myself 10 years ago based on my experience is you can do anything. 10 years ago, I never had a thought that I would have been a gubernatorial candidate. And it shows me that once you have a drive and you have a passion and you understand the needs of your community, you can do anything. And being a pastor, it shows me that truly with God, all things are possible. So the advice I would have, continue to give myself today is to just ensure and try your very best to do what it is that God has called you to do, which is your divine purpose in life. Allow me to please thank the Integrity Women in Business Center for the honor of being a part and being with these great women of excellence at their 2015 VI Women's Leadership Symposium. I like that. There's so many women in the Virgin Islands that can receive this honor, and so I thank Integrity Women in Business again for this honor, and God bless you. Mwah!
Hi, I'm Dr. Keisha Christian. I was born on the island of St. Croix to Kathleen and Charles Christian. I have 3 beautiful daughters, Marisha 18, Shamara 13, and Makia 10. In 2004, I graduated from the University of Georgia with my doctorate of pharmacy degree. Upon graduation, I was offered a job with Target as their pharmacist. In 6 months, I was promoted to pharmacy manager. Thereafter, I became their pharmacy operations manager. In 2009, I decided that I would put together a 2-year plan, which would help me to move back home. In October of 2011, I moved and made that transition back home. And I worked for 2 pharmacies until I was able to fulfill my lifelong dream of becoming a pharmacy owner and opening a neighborhood pharmacy. In August, we opened Neighborhood Pharmacy. We're located at 140B Estate St. George. Neighborhood Pharmacy is dedicated to making a difference in our community and in the lives of our patients. Based on my experience, the advice I would give myself 10 years ago would be: number 1, be patient. Number 2, nothing happens before it's time. And number 3, everything will be okay. I would like to thank the Integrity Women in Business Center and the 2015 VI Women's Leadership Symposium for choosing me as a 2015 honoree.
Hi, my name is Virginia Claremont. I am the Executive Director and founder of Clean St. Frederickstead. Born and raised in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. I spent the first 16 years of my life here. Went to Cloudamacla School, St. Patrick's, Arthur Richards, and left and graduated, moved to St. Thomas and graduated from Charlotte Mali High School. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration from Payne College and a Master of Science in Corporate and Community Relations and Nonprofit Management. I spent the last 30 years living and working and raising a family in the Washington, D.C. area, and recently moved back home to make a difference here in St. Croix. Clean St. Frederickstead is a coalition of community stakeholders that is dedicated to the economic development and revitalization of Frederickstead. We do community cleanups. We have events that are primarily focused on children and families, all with the effort to help to bring Frederickstead back to a vibrant community that it once was. The advice I would give myself 10 years ago is to trust your gut and trust your journey. Everything that you're going through right now is preparing you for an even bigger and better challenge in the future. Thank you to the Integrity Women in Business Center for selecting me as one of the honorees this evening.
Hi, my name is Angela D. Coleman, and I am the founder and president of Sisterhood Agenda. And I have been doing sisterhood work, and I've been a sisterhood activist for over 20 years now. And I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, and I migrated to the VI approximately 10 years ago. And feel very fortunate to have been embraced by the community here, but also establishing global sisterhood in over 34 countries. We have what we call global partners. They're agencies that are also promoting sisterhood, working with women's empowerment, women's support services, and we have over 3,500 global partners. And I'm very excited to set up my headquarters here in the VI. It's called the Sisterhood Empowerment Academy, and it's an eco-building on St. John. I've always believed that it's the foundation of any women's empowerment or any women's support effort. That sisterhood, that mentoring, that caring, that love and guidance is so critical, because together we're so much stronger. And so I'm hoping that everyone puts sisterhood on the agenda. And I feel like this is the work that I am meant to do, although by no means is it the only thing that I do. But it's something that has been my passion for quite a while now. Wow, the advice that I would give myself 10 years ago. Okay, I'm subtracting the age that I am now, minus 10, and realizing what I was doing and where I was going. I would tell myself to just kind of let things flow. To let things flow a little more naturally, to not try to force change or force a specific agenda or schedule, or have such high expectations of other people and other things, to allow the process to be more organic. The advice I'd give myself 10 years ago would be, hey, just calm down, just relax, just keep prayer at hand, keep it steady. That you're not alone in what you're doing, that you have allies, you have collaborators, you have supporters, you have people who love you, and to know that going in and to just do your thing, and that it will happen, and just know that you are already successful. I've come to realize that sisterhood is at the foundation of the Integrity Women's Business Center and the 2015 Leadership Symposium. So I want to thank all of you for all of your support. This is greatly an honor for me. I feel very blessed. I feel very fortunate. to be recognized for my work with Sisterhood Agenda and to be included among just the wonderful women, the greatness that's represented here at the VI Women's Leadership Symposium. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it, and God bless.
Good day, my name is Kinua Simmons-Esanison, and there are many roles that I have in our community. I am the Executive Director of the Virgin Islands Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Council, also known as DVSAC. I am also the proud owner of My Girlfriend's Closet, which is a boutique for women in Christian Stead, St. Croix. I'm also a Soca Caribbean dance instructor, which is my own fitness brand, which highlights and celebrates Caribbean women and our culture. And I'm also a mom of a 2.5-year-old who is extremely energetic, but I love him to life. Prior to my experiences and my roles in our community, I went to Hofstra University and I obtained my undergraduate degree in communications, and I minored in dance. That's what I'm very passionate about. And then I continued on to the University of the Virgin Islands to obtain my master's in education with a concentration in guidance and counseling. And so I have been involved in different groups and organizations. I was part of the National Honor Society, and at this time I enjoy giving my time to worthy causes, being a role model for others, but mostly to help women and empower women to be themselves. I do have many roles, but I am here in front of you not as a representative for everyone or anyone, just myself. So thank you for having me. Well, it's interesting because I think I would give myself the same advice that I give myself today, daily, which is to be yourself. I do believe that everyone is here for a reason. We're all unique. We all have our own purpose. And oftentimes, or perhaps I should say 10 years ago, maybe as I tried to find myself, I may have looked at others who I wanted to emulate or to be like, and individuals who I admired. And so my advice 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and now is always to be yourself. Know yourself, appreciate the value that you bring to the world, to your organization, to the work that you do, because you cannot be duplicated. There's no one else like you, and there's no one else like me. So that would be my advice. I want to say thank you to the Integrity Women in Business Center for honoring myself and other phenomenal women in our community through the 2015 VI Women's Leadership Symposium. It is such a pleasure and an honor to be amongst women of such magnificence in our community. I am pleased to be a part of that, and I do hope that we can continue this trend of empowering each other and empowering women who are the backbone of our community. So thank you for taking that time to honor us. I hope we continue to do the same and enjoy.
My name is Ernestine Etienne. I am originally from the island of Dominica. I migrated and lived on St. Thomas for several years, worked at the airport on St. Thomas for right about 10 to 15 years, moved on to South Carolina, and now I am returning to the Virgin Islands, this time to St. Croix. Currently, I am the general manager of Hotel on the Key. Took this position right about December of 2014. Prior to that, I worked as their bookkeeper for the last year and a half. Assuming this position has been just, it's something that I've loved. From South Carolina, I managed several hotels with Wyndham Resorts, Hotel Wingate, we did Days Inn, Ramadas, and so on. And I also have a background in law enforcement. Having said that, coming back to St. Croix, I am excited about giving back to the community. I feel at home. I love St. Croix. and think that, you know, we are in the right place at the right time. I think this is the best choice for us. We are together, my husband and I are here and live alone, so this makes it easy to be able to do some community efforts. I am currently part of Mid-Isle Rotary. Because my background, I'm service-based. The organization strives for just giving back to the community. Of course, the elimination of polio, elimination of hunger, and that is what we are. We are service-based people, so I look forward to just giving back to the community in every way that I can. I also serve on the board for the VI Hotel and Tourism Association, and it is a pleasure to serve the community in that area also. Based on my experience, I would tell myself today that I should have maybe do things more urgently. Sometimes we tend to procrastinate, and when you look back, I feel that I could have immediately take action on certain things that would push me further ahead, that would make things much easier as you become older. I would like to take this opportunity to personally thank Integrity Women in Business Center and the 2015 Women's Leadership Symposium for honoring me tonight. I take this, I do not take it lightly. I think it's an honor. My sincere gratitude to both organizations, and God bless.
I am Deborah Yvonne Francis Howell. I'm a 1978 graduate of the Charlotte Amalia High School. Immediately upon graduation, I entered the United States military some 32 years ago. For the military, I started as enlisted personnel record specialist. I returned home in 1980 and joined the Virgin Islands National Guard. I was commissioned as a second lieutenant in 1982 through the Virgin Islands Military Academy First Officer Candidate School. In 1983, I attended my basic and moved to the island of St. Croix to join the headquarters staff. In 1988, I went to my officer advance as a captain and returned to command the 662nd Field Service Company. After that, I returned to Commandant General Staff College, Army Management Staff College. In 1990, I attended the United States Army War College Fellowship Program at the University of Texas. I'm a graduate of the University of the Virgin Islands, holding my associates and bachelor's in business. I'm a 1995 graduate of Central Michigan University, again in administration. I'm also a graduate of the Army Management Staff College, which makes me eligible for senior executive service with the United States government. I was employed as the Chief of Staff for the Honorable Senator Kenneth L. Gittens with the 30th and 31st Legislature. During that period, I gained experience at the governmental level, which has aided me greatly in my current position. Serving as the Adjutant General in the last 90 days, I have seen where the organization can be the top rated. I am working feverishly to ensure that we are at the top of our game at all times. The advice that I would give myself 10 years ago, based on my experience today, would have been to continue reading, continue exploring, listen just a little bit more, and slow down. There were times that maybe I could have taken more time on some of the decisions I made had I known the impact it would have had on me today. I want to send a special thanks to the Integrity Women in Business Center on congratulations on their 2015 VI Women's Leadership Symposium. It's great what they're doing, not necessarily because they've interviewed me, but they're giving females a chance, an opportunity to see that we can do great things. Many times we're not recognized as females, and that's okay, because really what we want to be recognized for is our competency. And I appreciate this group doing such a marvelous job in bringing together all these women that are doing great things in this community. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I thank you on behalf of all the young ladies that's coming behind of us.
Greetings. I am Chinsera Davis Kahina. I currently serve as the director of the Virgin Islands and Caribbean Cultural Center, as well as the Center for the Study of Spirituality and Professionalism here at the University of the Virgin Islands, the only historically black college and university and land-grant institution of the Caribbean. My background is very, very, very diverse, as well as transcultural, as well as multilingual. I have my roots, my family's roots, connected, of course, to the entire planet. I have always identified myself as a diasporan indigenous African woman of the Dominican Republic, correct, San Pedro de Macorís to be exact. And I've had the joy and privilege of studying in the U.S. mainland, as well as in Africa, as well as in Mexico. Some of my work has taken me to Rutgers University for my undergraduate studies. I've taken some stints at Seton Hall University, as well as completing my first tier of graduate studies at Pepperdine University, National Health Institute in California, as well as the University of California, San Diego, along with a number of other institutions that have gathered my strengths as a naturopathic healthcare practitioner, as a psychotherapist, as well as an educator. And now I've had the joy and privilege of teaching communications courses here at the University of the Virgin Islands. I am the founder of the New Women Rising to Live Up initiative, which is an international campaign to help women, particularly, as well as young girls, to be empowered, to understand how to prevent health inequities. I spend a significant amount of my time also as one of the founding directors of Para-Ankh Msmai Tawi, Para-Ankh Comniversity Institute, and Para-Ankh Inc., which is a non-governmental organization dedicated to culture, healing, arts, technology, and spirituality for life, inspiration, freedom, and education. Chats for life. So my life, my experience is always tied to culture. My life work is always connected to healing our humanity, and my overarching bio, if you will, is to really restore the balance, the order, so that life, strength, health, wellness, and prosperity is afforded to all of us. The advice that I would give myself 10 years ago, based on my experience, would be to really have more expertise in the area of strategic planning, as well as patience. When we are dealing with becoming world-class leaders, it requires a series of ambassadorial skills, if you will, that are grounded on patience, on virtues, inclusive of being compassionate, being loving, most importantly, the one I said, that number one P, patience and planning. Because there are a number of skills that I would have desired to have had 10 years ago that it took me over the last 10, actually 15 years to really develop. So the strategic planning, patience, and the fortitude of really working with humanity most appropriately would be in place. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Integrity Women in Business Center for this opportunity to be an inductee for the 2015 Virgin Islands Women's Leadership Symposium. Mwah!
My name is Clemma S. Lewis, and I've been on the island of St. Croix since 1978. I've worked at several positions here, from being a social worker at the Youth Rehab Center, counselor at adult education to counselor at Evelyn Williams Elementary School. I've been with the Women's Coalition now for 34 years. We will be celebrating our 35th anniversary next year, and St. Croix is my life, it's my community. I love St. Croix. When I came here, my intention was to come and stay and give back to the community. I have two sons that I love dearly, and I could not be here speaking without them. Born and raised in St. Croix, Jamil and Anaji. One is 28 now and one is 35, and I am so proud of them young men. They are married and they understand the value of home and the community. And that's what I'm about, trying to make a difference. When I think about what advice I would give myself today based on 10 years ago, the advice I would give myself is that keep striving, keep doing the right thing, keep supporting the community. Maybe 10 years ago I might have looked more at taking better care of the agency financially, because we always thought it would be healthy and safe, and as time gone we realize it's not. But I think the best advice is just stay true, be real, and continue to do what I was doing. I don't see myself doing anything different even 10 years from now. I see myself doing the same thing. I would like to thank the Integrity Women in Business Center for honoring me, as well as the other honorees. It's not often that people feel that the work we contribute to this community is worthwhile in thanking us. So I would like to thank you, Integrity Business Center. I would like to thank you for honoring the women that you are honoring, and I would like to say keep up the good work, keep supporting women in leadership, and my hat's off to you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nelly Rivera O'Reilly, and I was born on the island of St. Croix to my parents, Diana Rivera and Francisco Rivera Navarro. I grew up in Estate Prophet and later moved to Estate Calhoun, so I like to call myself a bushwoman. I am the mother of two boys, now young men, and I've been married to John O'Reilly for 28 years. I am beginning my 4th term in the legislature of the Virgin Islands from the St. Croix district. I was elected to the legislature in 2008, and during my first term I was the only woman serving in a body of 15. Since then I have been joined by other women in the territory. I have served my community and I enjoyed my service as a senator. Prior to that I served on the Board of Education, and before that I worked as a paralegal in the island of St. Croix. I have a degree in business management and in finance, and I'm also certified in human resources. I love running, and I absolutely love reading. I enjoy playing words with friends, and I love spending time with my husband of 28 years. I want to say thank you to the Integrity Women in Business Center Incorporated for nominating me to the 2015 Virgin Islands Women's Leadership Symposium. It's a pleasure to be part of this symposium.
Hi, my name is Stacy Plaskett. I'm a daughter, a wife, a mother of 5 children. I am presently the representative to the United States Virgin Islands in the U.S. House of Representatives. I am the delegate to Congress for the United States Virgin Islands. I am an attorney by trade. I've worked in private and public practice at the U.S. Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority as their general counsel, in private practice doing public, private, and public finance law. I've worked at the Justice Department on a lot of initiatives there. I've worked in Congress as a staffer. I've been a prosecutor in New York, and my husband and I do a lot of work in our community. We believe in giving back, being a part of what's going on here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and we want to be about change. Well, I think that's a really great question. And it's a really interesting one for me because 10 years ago was when I decided to move back home to the Virgin Islands. Leaving Washington, D.C. and a career, uprooting my family based on an idea that I really needed to come back and be a part of what was going on here. And you know, you leaving a really large salary and other things, and there were a lot of people who said I was making a bad decision about bringing the kids down here and raising them here, but I think it's been the best decision I could have ever made. And I really wouldn't give myself advice, I would give myself encouragement. And it's the same encouragement I give to most women, which is to really believe in yourself, to step outside of the box and to take risks, and to shoot for those things that others say you can't. I think that's the best advice. I want to thank Integrity Women in Business Center for hosting the 2015 Virgin Islands Women's Leadership Symposium. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to be a part of this great Women's Leadership Symposium, and thank all of the participants who've been a part of this evening. Thank you all. Mwah.
My name is Lee Roan, and I have the pleasure of being a resident of St. Croix, Virgin Islands for about the last 40 years. I'm a lawyer, and I've been a lawyer here for 40 years. My specialty is representing the downtrodden, the people who don't really have a voice, and the people that have been injured and taken advantage of. It is my unique pleasure to be able to represent those people against the forces that would take away their rights and their interests and their abilities to enjoy their life. To anticipate change more regularly, to build in the opportunity for flexibility and change with the times and the circumstances. I thank the Integrity Women in Business Center for this opportunity and for the opportunity of all women on St. Croix and St. Thomas to experience their event. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joanna Samuel, and I'm a local business owner in the island of St. Croix, Virgin Islands. I am the owner of Add-A-Touch Accessory Boutique. My education started here on the island through elementary school, junior high school, and even college. I attended a college in Boston, Massachusetts, and returned here to the islands in 2007. And my education continued where I graduated at the University of the Virgin Islands with a bachelor's degree in business and business administration. What advice I would give myself 10 years ago, based on my experience now, would be that I'm enough. You know, everyone sees me as this person who is just outgoing, likes to talk, have all this self-confidence. And it has really taken a lot. Back then, you know, as many women think of themselves, you know, they're not enough, they're not pretty enough, they don't have what it takes, they don't talk well enough, they don't have the proper education or the degree to be in a particular field. But I would say once something is your passion, it would all come to you. And to know that all things are possible. So that would be the advice that I would tell myself, that I was enough, but it's okay. Because as Maya Angelou said, when you know better, when you know better, you do better. And at this stage in my life, I know better and I'm doing better. Integrity Women in Business Center 2015 Leadership Symposium. I would just love to say thank you. Thank you for honoring me. Thank you for recognizing me. Abel, thank you so much for your support.
Good afternoon, my name is Sana Joseph Smith. I am the owner for IHOP St. Croix, Director for Strategic Solutions Network. I am married to Charles R. Smith. We have one 3-year-old together and I have 2 stepchildren. I went to the University of Virginia, which is where I graduated and got my bachelor's. From there, I lived in the States for a few years and was in the banking industry. And then I decided I wanted to move back home and tried to find different avenues to make my way back home. And so that's where I ended up with the IHOP and running my nonprofit. And that's me in a nutshell. Based upon my current experience, 10 years ago, I would probably tell myself to find a mentor. I'm finding that right now, because of the unique path that I've taken, I could really use a really good, strong mentor to help guide me through some of the experiences that I'm having. Thank you so much, Integrity Women in Business Center, for honoring me and this special occasion. A special thank you to the other honorees. It's going to be a blast, and I am just having a great time being on this honoree list with you all. Thank you.
My name is Melanie Johannes Tietrie, CEO and founder of Interchanges for Girls and Boys Council. Interchanges is a nonprofit organization that partners with private and public schools to provide quality aftercare program for students. 8 years ago, when I attended and graduated from DeVry University in Miramar, Florida, I decided that I wanted to come home and make an impact on the youths in our community. I started off doing programs with young women, strengthening and empowering and enriching the young women of our community, teaching them from how to sit, how to stand, how to walk, how to be a powerful young woman. Then we branched off into boys, entrepreneurship and leadership program, showing our young men how much positive things it has in our community to do and to learn. And lastly, we have our academic program, our academic enrichment program, where we go out to the schools, we meet with the teachers, we find out what is it going to take for students to be successful. The best advice I would have given myself 10 years ago is to read as much as possible about my industry, research, go to trainings, seminars, also go and volunteer in the industry in which I want to open a business. And lastly, surround myself by positive, optimistic individuals. Interchanges was designed to be a pillar in our community, a support system for parents and families. I'd like to take this time to thank the Integrity Women's in Business Center for honoring us for the 2015 VI Women's Leadership Symposium.